Talking about ultralight hiking and moving towards ultralight is filled with misunderstandings and fears of what can go wrong, and often it is quite serious concerns that people have. They are often scared that the equipment will fail because it is lighter and can't withstand the normal wear and tear of use, or it can't face the condition that you can get while hiking. So that makes it automatically dangerous, and people using that equipment must be a bit crazy. Anyways, you can basically summarize these concerns into 4 different categories, and those 4 is the focus during today's episode, where we will dive into the 4 biggest fears going ultralight. No time to waste, let's do this. Now that I have been publishing videos about ultralight hiking for some time, I do have quite a good picture about the most common misunderstandings and preconceptions or fears that people have when it comes to ultralight hiking and lighter gear. Some are more relevant than others, of course, and some are just plain stupid.
Just kidding.
Anyways, let's talk about and go through these 4 different topics and straighten them out, and then maybe, just maybe, convince a few more people not to look away from the chance for a better hiking experience. Here is topic number 1. Is it possible to be comfortable on your hike and using only lightweight equipment and having a low base weight? The short answer to that is of course yes. But comfort for me is not the same as comfort for you, and only you know what gear you need to bring to stay comfortable. But for me, comfort is having a good pair of shoes with nice cushioning and good grip, clothes to keep me warm and dry, and a nice sleep system for a good night's sleep. On top of that, a roomy shelter to protect me from the weather, and a cook set for making food, and a good cup of coffee. All of this is comfort, and all of this is achieved by using lighter gear like my sleep system. A warm and comfy sleeping pad at 569 grams and a quilt at 577 grams, just to give you some examples from my own gear list. I believe that the fear people have when it comes to comfort is that it can't be as comfortable as if bringing a lot of stuff, because ultralight hiking isn't only about the weight, but a mindset and about being minimalistic. Otherwise it is hard to achieve or even to be close to the 10 pounds or the 4.5 kilo ultralight goal weight. If bringing a chair, spare clothes, multi-tools, big flashlights, towels and camp shoes, well yeah, it doesn't matter if they are all lightweight gear. Bringing a lot of stuff, and most of the time only for just in case situations, will increase the weight a lot. And you don't need them to be comfortable.
Just saying.
This is one of the most serious concerns people have, not having gear that is safe enough for the situations you can face during a hike. It can be things like heavy rain, strong winds, and sometimes even snow if you're hiking the shoulder seasons. But it can also be the normal wear and tear of using the equipment, and that lighter gear could break during a hike. All of this is relevant, but I believe that it mainly comes down to experience and choosing the right gear for the specific hike. You don't choose a tarp for hiking in the mountains, and you don't pitch the tent on top of the highest peak if there's a risk of a storm. And that goes for all the tents, not just the ultralight ones. Sure, a 500 grams DCF tent might not take a storm as well as a 3 kilo Hilleberg tent, but no matter what tent you choose, the location is the most important thing for staying safe. When it comes down to the lightweight clothes, sleeping bags and pads, sure, some of them do use thinner fabrics and are a bit more delicate, so you might want to be a little bit more careful using them. But when it comes down to how warm they are and how waterproof, no real difference to traditional gear. For short, you are not less safe using lighter gear, but you might want to consider being a little bit more careful using them, where you pitch your tent, and choosing the right equipment for the hike ahead, and you will stay safe. Another big fear people have is when it comes to food, that you must eat only cold food, bars and snacks, and the burner or the cook set isn't good enough for making real food. Well, they are right and wrong at the same time. Actually, Many ultralight hikers do choose eating only cold food and cold soaking their meals. Doing so, you don't need to carry any fuel or a cook set, saving a lot of weight. But if cold food isn't for you, but you can accept living on freeze-dried food you buy or make yourself, then boiling water is all you need to do, and doing so, you can eat hot meals for breakfast, lunch and dinner if you choose to, and still be ultra light, because a set for just boiling water doesn't need to weigh much. An S-pit stove with a titanium pot might be the absolute lightest way to go, but can be a bit tricky and smelly, so I do recommend you going for a small gas burner and a titanium pot instead. That will only weigh in at about 100 to 160 grams, depending on the brand that you choose, and it is so much easier to handle, so no need eating cold food. This is the last and maybe strangest fear that people have, but also the most common one. Going ultralight is like always being cold. So my question to you is, do you believe that a quilt or a sleeping bag with a comfort rating of plus 2 degrees Celsius is colder than a 1.5 kilo bag with the same comfort rating? Or do you believe that a sleeping pad with an R value of 4.2 and 470 grams is colder than a 1.2 kilo alternative? I can just go on and comparing ultra light gear like down jackets, down pants, fleece jackets and all the other gear you need to stay warm. Going ultralight doesn't mean that you have to be cold and miserable. Choose the right gear for the hike ahead, and if you're still cold, you picked the wrong gear. And again, it all comes down to experience. My gear setup isn't close being the absolute lightest one, but the 5.4 kilo that I have in base weight, it gives me all the comfort that I need, all the warmth that I need, and all the safety that I need for 3-season hiking here in Sweden, and that includes also the mountains that we have here. It also allows me to sleep in comfort and eating as much as hot food that I want to, and drinking a good cup of coffee when I need to. Now it is going to be interesting hearing your comments about today's episode, and maybe also hear about your biggest fears when it comes to ultralight hiking, and if you think I'm crazy or if you think I'm right. No matter what, leave a comment. But for now, this is it, and if you like today's episode, take a look at these 2 recommendations on my other videos. Also do hit like, subscribe and turn on the notifications so you don't miss out on any future content. I hope to see you again next week, but for now, take care, safe hiking and bye bye.